All right. Yeah, so this next topic here is it's so ridiculous. It's one of those ridiculous topics that I still feel like I have to cover because it's serious, but it's super ridiculous. So, and Japan is doing a campaign right now, and they are asking for black men from around the world to go move to Japan and uh help repopulate Japan. Now, I'm not, Mr. World Economics. I do know what's going on with other places outside of the United States, but I'm not too keen on every single thing that's happening outside of the United States. I'm not going to apologize for that either. But I do know that Japan's economy is one of the worst economies in the world. They are in complete. It's just not good over there. It's not good over there as far as their economy. And if you live in a country where your economy is absolute trash, um, you would know how hard it is to live in a country where your economy is trash, or there's this fake appearance that the economy isn't as bad as it truly is, like the house isn't burning, but yet the people who are in charge of putting out the fire, or at least preventing the fire from happening, are telling you that it's not burning at all. Everything is fine over here, like that meme. So, with that being said, Japan is taking the opposite route of everything is fine, or at least they're kind of in a way taking the opposite route of everything is fine. They're not going to flat out say, "Hey, man, we're effed up, we're effed up," and please, anybody, please bring your money. No, they're gonna claim they're going to pay families of those who end up repopulating, you know? And now there's this big push for black men. Why black men in particular? Well, I'm going to go over a certain theories that I have. By the way, you can look this information up. I saw a video on TikTok, or at least I saw a video on X of a TikTok video. And people are sharing it. I'm not going to go and watch it because I know it's a bunch of people who are going to have their anti-black man messages all up on that video and commentary as well. And I'm not going to, I'm saying, I'm not going to entertain that. I'm not going to give them the views. I'm not going to get triggered by, I'm not going to put myself in a position where I can potentially get triggered. I understand talking about this, and having this be a topic that people can listen to and then talk about themselves, meaning they can comment on. So that's the only risk of being triggered that I'm willing to take, because at least it's going to benefit me in a sense that it's on my video, it's on my podcast. That means that the comment is going to go toward the promotion of what I do. So even if the comment is not a favorable one, but there are reasons as to why I feel like black men in particular are the target of Japan. The number one reason being genetics. This idea that we have the most superior or the more superior genetics. And I say idea because, um, people are going to get mad if I say the fact. But the idea, I'm gonna put it that way, and that we have the more superior genetics. Not only do they want to repopulate, but they obviously want a superior. And again, these are things that once you say things and all this other people gonna get all in their feelings. You know what I'm saying? But this is what the Japanese folks are saying. This is a topic that is so unserious, but it is serious, and it's hard not to crack jokes and laugh. But it's also hard not to not do that, because if I don't do it, then I'm gonna be upset, because this is all of it is very triggering. I'm going to keep it a bug. All of this is very triggering, but it's also triggering my funny bone. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean like the funny bone that you have in your body, wherever the hell it is on your body. I mean the funny bone in my person, in my brain, I guess, that is because I got a bunch of jokes I gotta say that I want to say about this, honestly. But I'm gonna try to stay focused. All right. But anyways, as I was stating before, um, if you're going to repopulate anything, any country, any community, you obviously want to repopulate with men and women that you deem are superior, meaning a superior intellect, superior physically as well, superior in general, people that find even superior when it comes to physical looks, as in physical attractiveness. The world will try to make it seem as though that they hate black features, and it's not necessarily a hate, it's jealousy. You know, I don't understand. I say it's jealousy, because why would, and I say the world, I'm not just speaking about white people or Eurocentric folk. I say the world, because other people of color have the same type of jealousy when it comes to black folks. So I don't really like that broad term. I understand I'm in Boston, like I stated. So that term is thrown around a lot. You never hear people say black folks, but you do hear Latinx when you want to single them out. You do hear Asian American when you want to single them out. But when you want to talk about black folks in particular, it's always people of color. We never get singled out for anything. And when I say singled out, I mean simply we never get something that is specifically for black folks, whether that be black folks who are of the diaspora. Sorry, black folks of the diaspora, or, well, oftentimes, the only black folks that get singled out are certain folks of the diaspora, but definitely not black Americans. We are the ones that have to do the delineation most of the time when we want to get stuff done for us. But anyways, again, this whole idea of hating black features, it's more so jealousy, not hate. It's jealousy. And it's not, and then where people are going to be like, why would I want to have a nose as big as yours? Why would I want to have hair as nappy as yours? Um, it's the energy. It is what this nose means. It's what this hair means. It's what it carries. It's what this melanin, what it means to have all of this. You know what I'm saying? Plus more. That's the stuff that they're jealous of. And the exterior is a personification of all of that stuff. And when they want to use us to, let's just say, like in a situation, repopulate, they're going to pretend like they never spent decades upon decades of shaming us for our features, of shaming us for our melanin, of shaming us in general. They're going to act like that wasn't the case. But that is truly the case. And hence why I don't agree with this. And I bet not see not one black tail go over there and try to help repopulate. I don't even want to see black women who are commenting on this thing because they want to be sexualized, and not all black women, but there are a few of them. I know for a fact there are a bunch. There's a clan of these folks who every time a black man is over sexualized by a non-black person, they get offended not offended in a way that a black person should be offended. Like, how dare you over sexualize this black man or just black people in general? No, they got offended because they're not the one being objectified and over sexualized. There's definitely a sector of these women out there like that, and they're commenting on this situation not out of anger for the actual reasons why one like myself would comment about this situation. They're mad because they're not calling for black women to go over there. But I'm pretty sure that sector, that clan, will go over there and then try to repopulate with some Japanese man. And just so they can have some, ha ha, look at us. We're wanted. Ha ha ha. Look at me. I traveled all over this player. I traveled across the world like a dumbass just to get pregnant by this Japanese man. Ha ha. And you don't know anything about the dude. He had you, you fulfilled his little ghetto princess fantasy. He hit it, he quit it, he can go back to his boys and said, yo, I had sex with, a black girl. And he probably won't even use that term. He'll use the racial term that they use to describe black girls or black people in general, over there, whatever that term is. He'll probably say that to his boys, yo, I had sex with a whatever that word is, and so they can big him up. And now he feels as though he's got a black card because he sticked his little pee inside of a black woman's vagina. Yeah, we going there. I don't give a damn who feels however. This goes the same for the black men as well. If you go over there thinking you're gonna one up the opposing clan because y'all are just as goofy as them as well. You're gonna go over there, ha ha, they want me, they want us, we are the prize, blah blah blah, all that goofy shit that's been going on online for some time now. This is the stuff that's very triggering. Plus, a lot of other things as well. There's some of the other stuff that I named. That's the stuff that's very triggering. So please excuse me if I'm making jokes because it's a situation where I'm laughing to keep from crying. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I am. If you don't understand that, if you don't get it, that's tough. Nobody made you listen. Nobody made you subscribe. Nobody made you click on this video. Simple as that. But you know, it's they don't love us. And they don't, and they meaning these Japanese folks that want us to come over there, us meaning black men, they want us to come over there, uproot ourselves, move over there to help repopulate. I also think that the Rui Hashimuras of the world, and I'm not saying I don't believe he's Japanese, but just for the simple fact that he's half black and half Japanese, and he is an NBA player. That's a other aspect of it. You have these black athletes from the NBA or from these other sports that go over, especially with basketball, though, if I'm keeping it a buck, but it's not just basketball. But there you have these black athletes of these sports, whether they had a tremendous Michael Jordan-esque, well, no one has really well, there are a few with a Michael Jordan-esque. We know the LeBron, the Kobe's and stuff, but they had a tremendous career, is what I'm saying, within the NBA, or they were the fucking bench warmer. You go over to Japan, you the man. Simply because you black, you play basketball, or you just play for the NBA. You could be a bench warmer and you could thumbs up this video no matter where you are, like Zoom is telling you. But you play for the NBA, they're not gonna. Of course, they know who Michael Jordan is. Of course, they know who LeBron is. Of course, they know who Kobe Bryant is. But you don't have to be that to go over there. You go over there, you scoring on them. You score 10 points on their head. They're gonna make it seem like it was 100 points. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be calling you Wilt Chamberlain or something, you know? So it's like, yeah, like, and I'm not saying these things to try to convince you to go. I'm saying these things because they don't see you as an individual. They see you as a fucking meal ticket. That's what you are. A meal ticket. When I mentioned Rui Hashimura, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to that brother, his family, or whatever the case is, but I'm saying they view you as a situation to where even if Rui is not Japanese, half Japanese, he might be half Chinese or whatever. I know he's half Asian and half black, right? But it could be a situation where they see a Rui Hashimura and they're like, All I need is a black man to come over here and get me pregnant so I can have my little Rui Hashimura and grow up and get out of poverty and get out of this lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Or I could have a black athlete. And again, you don't even if you're not an athlete, they're still going to view. You could be a podcast with 0 views. You can be an author with 0 reads. You know what I'm saying? You go over there and they're claiming to pay you $75,000 per kid. If you got that money, pay your fucking citizens. You know what I'm saying? All the corrupt politicians, and again, they're on to this as well. And they're okay with this because again, they want the exposure. They want the money that's going to come if you go over there and create the Rui Hashimuras with these Japanese women. If you go over there and have your talents, even musical talents, again, go over there and you create whoever is a half Asian, half black musician out there, whether you're famous or not. You know what I'm saying? You go over there with your writing talents and you go over and you create the Ernest Hashimura or Ernest whoever, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter. These folks are not they're not lining us, they're not choosing us. Like, it'd be totally different and it'd still be weird, but to me, to be honest with you, but it'd be totally different if they're like men of anybody, not just black men, white men, Indian men, heck, Japanese. It would make a lot more sense actually if they were like Japanese American men. Please come back to the motherland and get these women pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would make a lot more sense. Or Japanese men in the UK, Japanese men in Canada, Japanese men around the world who aren't in Japan and in Japan. Come over to Japan, bring your money, bring your resources, bring your talents, and get these women pregnant. I would still feel as though that's slightly weird because my thing is making a baby, having a family. I don't have kids, but I'm not going to be one if or when I do have kids. I'm not going to be one to do so out of, because I think that's where my parents and their generation messed up. Having kids out of a fear of or the lack of mentality when you are financially not capable of having kids. So then you have kids just to hope or just to raise them to be workers, to have money, to value money to the point where, okay, now that you have it, now you got to take care of family and so on and so forth. When you have kids, you have to raise them to only value money, and therefore they have to take jobs or have a career that is high paying so they can have kids, so they can take care of you, and then when they have kids and so on and so forth, keeping on that cycle. That's what what's the boomers, that's the boomer generation. That's how they were raised, and that's what they tried to do with the millennials, to instill that mindset within us. Thankfully, I think that I'm not the only millennial who feels that's a BS ideology to have. That if I'm going to, now, granted, I'm not saying all millennials, but I'm saying there are even millennials with children who may not have, who may not have planned to have those children, still in their mind, I'm willing to guess, still in their mind have this mindset that uh, the reason why our parents had kids, if it wasn't out of like love and all this other stuff, or the reason as to why folks should have kids, because they truly want them in their life and they love them and stuff. And I'm not saying my parents didn't love me or boomers didn't love their children, but I'm saying that either a huge part or there was a part big enough to play into why they had kids was, we can't really afford all this financial debt that we have right now. So if we have kids and raise them to value money to the point where they have to, again, take on jobs that, even if those jobs are not fulfilling to them, they still have to take it on because it's money. They have to go into certain fields that are high paying and high regard, uh, so they can get money, so they can help us pay off these ill financial decisions that we made. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. Not all of them was ill decisions, but let's not lie to ourselves. A lot of this stuff, you know what I'm saying, or a good percentage of our, and I'm saying me, myself included, our financial ills, it's due to bad money making decisions. That's the truth. That plays into not everything, hopefully not everything for you or your parents or whoever, but that does play a part. And definitely with the boomers as well. But back onto this topic at hand, even though it's all relative, because one can say the same thing. Things happen for Japan's economy for that exact same reason. But I know for a fact that there was a lot of corruption going on within the bigwigs. It's kind of like when I was talking about with the state of Haiti right now, where the people in charge, excuse me, the people in charge who um are pretty much supposed to take care of the citizens and take care of finances over there, were not doing what they should have been doing. Japan pretty much is yet another place within this world where the corrupt politicians were hoarding all the money for themselves. And now they're out here, they're on board with this, of course. They're on board with it because it's going to still enrich in more of their pockets. They found out, they figured, if we get these color struck Negroes or Negras, I don't know. That was a terrible Japanese impersonation, but it's not the worst thing I've ever done. So, yeah. Anyways, these terrible, if we get these color struck Negroes, especially the ones on TikTok, on that chronically online in general, right? If we get them to think that we truly just want them because we truly find them sexy and attractive and all this other shit, right? To come over here and again bring their money, their resources, their talents, their genes. And I don't mean genes as in the jeans that they wear. I mean the genes and DNA. Bring all of that to Japan. Oh, we can make bank off of that. You bugging if you think that's not what's going on in the minds of the politicians over there as well. It ain't just the citizens. It's not just the women saying, "Come over here, have a baby with me, so we can create this basketball player or this athlete or this musician that can dance and sing and rap and all this other stuff and get famous, and I can get out of this, you know, dire situation that I'm in." It's not just the citizens saying it, it's the economy. Oh, it's the economists there who should have been doing their job. The politicians there that should have been doing their job to protect the citizens, and they weren't. They were lining their own pockets up. And then this is yet another play to line their own pockets up. So do I think my words are going to reach every black man in the world? Absolutely not. Probably not even going to reach 5 different black men in my city, to be honest with you. But I still feel the need to put this message out there, and I'm letting y'all know, like, this is what's going on. This is not some we love you, we just want you to come over here so you can be loved. All the passport bros are going to make it seem as though that's the case. And of course, they're going to have their one-up game. Hey, look at us. They want us. Ha, we're the prize. Hey, like, they going to do that shit. And then again, you're going to have a negative response from these these black women who feel the same way as they do, and they're going to go over there willingly, whether they're asked to go over there or not. They're going to go over there willingly, spend their freaking every damn dime that they have traveling to a place, and then get left stranded. And the same for these black men too. They're going to do that and get left stranded, or they're going to go over there and they're not actually There might be some that go over there and find love. I'm not going to say that's not a possibility, but when again, if it's not a situation to where I'm just visiting Japan, I'm just here, I'm sightseeing, whatever, I'm going out, I'm clubbing, I'm doing whatever, I just happen to find this person, we just happen to have this connection. If it is not a genuine connection of love and affection and all that, and then anything else outside of that, that's not love. It's not love. It's not genuine. You can't say you. I don't care how many TikTok videos you make. I don't care how many other videos or how much you go online and you get this person that say that they love you and stuff. Anybody can say anything. That's why I was never fooled by motherfuckers' videos when they're traveling all over the crew, whether it be the Dominican Republic or wherever, and then they get the lady to say, "I love him. I love him. I truly love him." You don't know if this woman is a paid prostitute to say that, and she just saying it whatever she's gonna say to get this man to pay her. You don't know if she has her own ulterior motives, and she's just saying that because she's going along with the game, so she has her own plan. I don't mean to sound super cynical. Well, I do because I need y'all to understand that there is pros and cons to obviously traveling abroad. But also, if you just go and travel abroad just to have this one up game, you deserve all the cynicism in the world from me and anybody else. That's just keeping it real. Now, I don't see it as cynicism in that sense. I see it as me keeping it real with you. That's what I'm doing here. You know what I'm saying? I see it what it is, and I'm actually trying to protect you and educate you on what's really going on. Again, I'm not well versed on exactly everything that's going on in Japan or just other places around the world. Heck, I'm not even super well versed on what's going on in the United States. I know enough, but with that being said, again, I do know a con when I see one, and that's thanks to my upbringing here in the United States, the con nation of the world, if you ask me. But I do know a con when I see one. I do know fetishization when I see it. And that's thanks to me growing up as a black male in general. I know that for a fact. I do know when I am being used or when I am asked to do something because someone has ulterior motives to use me for their own personal good. There is no benefit at all for any black man to go down there and to give them what they want. A black baby that can possibly play in the NBA or some other sport or perform live on the Grammys and get Grammys and thank the mom for raising them and all this other stuff because we know your black ass ain't gonna stay around. And this is not me being stereotypical. This is me saying they either gonna kick you out because that's part of the story as to a lot of why black men aren't, and even I won't even say a lot, but the black men who aren't involved within their children's life, a lot of those situations, it wasn't that he just went over there, skeeted, and the woman and dipped. No, it was strategic to get him out the household. We won't talk about that though. And when I mean me, I mean you. You don't talk about that. You just bring up the fact that he isn't there. You don't talk about the things that kicked him out of the household in the first place. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like what my job, one of my former jobs did when they decided not to hire me back. Um, they went around telling the students that, oh, he's just no longer around. You didn't tell them that. You told me that if I was to return back to work, you wasn't going to pay me. You didn't tell them that. You just made it seem as though I just up in debt and left them. And like a lot of the students were upset, especially the ones who were graduating that year. They really wanted me to. I wish I was there to see their graduate, of course. And, but these were people that I've known. These were students that I've known since the sixth grade. They're in the eighth grade and stuff at the time, at least they're in the eighth grade. And then summer goes by, if they don't invite me back, or I'm told, listen, you can return back. We would love to have you back, but we can't pay you. Or when, yeah. So it's like, tell the entire story. Tell the entire story as to why someone's absence is there, why someone is no longer present. Don't tell the half story to make you look good. Tell the entire story. But that's a different, totally different topic. Let's stick to this topic here, or at least wrap this topic up. Black men, don't go over there. Do not go over there. Now, there's going to be black men commenting, oh, you can stay in America with black women. They're not going to appreciate you anyway. Yeah, I'm going over there. And then what? You're going to go over there, get effed over, and you're not going to come back commenting and saying, Ernest, you were right. You probably, the only reason you're going to reach out to me is because they fleece you for your money and you're going to want me to cash app you some dollars or at least buy a plane ticket for you so you can come back here. The answer's going to be no, I ain't going to do that for you. Heck, absolutely not. I don't care if you do say, yeah, man, you're right. Can you please help me out? I send a prayer for you. This is the most I'm going to do for you. And whatever God decides is what God decides to do. Because God has put me this message in my mind, in me, to tell you not to do it. You went against God's words. I'm not God, but I felt compelled to do it, and I felt compelled to do so because of God. So if you went against God's words, you have to consult with God when a situation doesn't work out the way that you was hoping it would work out. You went against God's words. So I'm going to pray for you and ask for God to have some grace on you, because we all mess up. We all make bad decisions. You know what I'm saying? I've made some terrible decisions in my life. I've traveled places for women. And I'm like, man, I ain't gonna lie. I enjoyed the experience as far as the traveling because I love traveling. But the woman may not have been good. You know what I'm saying? But at least the experience there was good, and I didn't get fleeced for all my money. So I can't say I relate to you, but at the same time, I have made some terrible decisions. But I also know that there have been times where God was telling me, don't make that decision. And I made that decision. And then something unfavorable happened. And then I had to say, hey, man, hey, God, you were right, per usual. You were right per usual when you spoke to me. You were right per usual when you were speaking speaking to me through other people who are telling me to avoid certain situations. And I still went against your word, whether it was your word from you or your word from somebody else as a vessel. So things like that happen. So again, this is me not trying to, this is not some jealousy thing, because when they say black men, I fit the bill. Physically, reality, I fit the bill. But I'm not going over there. I never had a desire to travel to Japan. It looks beautiful at certain spots, but that's everywhere around the world. I could find beauty in Boston. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm at right now. I could find beauty all over the world. I love traveling and I love being out in nature. And being beautiful on the outside, to me, whether you're a person or a planet or a plant, person, place, or thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not enough for me to say I'm going to look all past the negativity because this person, place, or thing is beautiful on the outside. Don't go over there, black men. Do not go over there. All right. So we're going to get into the last topic, but I will say that once again, that last topic might be a longer one. So this is going to be likely going to be two separate podcast episodes, like the prior week when I had a longer topic, as I stated before. If these run longer than about 3 hours, 2 3 hours, 3 hours tops, and then I'm just going to split them up into two separate episodes. So it's still the same episode, but you know what I'm trying to say. And if you don't know what I'm trying to say, listen to the other episode. All right. If it makes it easy for you. Cool.